Every spring we'd come from all over California to our special little corner of the Anza Borrego desert. Old friends spending a weekend as hallucinogen-fueled rockets and secret geniuses. We'd take mushrooms and roam over lunar hills and extinct riverbeds. Through a mixture of time, drugs, and familial love, we were able to convince ourselves that these were meaningful times. One year I returned to camp after a solo adventure, feeling earth-wise and God-touched. I knew something was wrong when I saw my friend Sean sitting on a small rise, his normally impassive, half-lidded eyes now flitting and twisting in a heroic struggle. "You okay?" He just shrugged and hugged himself. Any veteran could see the signs of a bad trip beginning. However, as everyone began to filter back into camp, I became convinced that our sheer positivity, our collective will would pull him out of it. As night snuck up, we realized one of our party, my roommate, had not returned. My roommate was new at this scene, and it seemed he had decided to skip straight to the expert level of personal drug risk. And Sean had grown worse. We told him to sit in the car as we began to search for our missing friend. Armed with lanterns and liquor, they set out, confident they'd find him rolling in the dirt, lost in his own little private party. As our friends faded away into wobbling blobs of lantern light, Sean emerged from the car. He had pissed himself and broken every loose object inside. As we watched the lantern light slowly hit every peak and valley of our respective hikes, a new feeling began to set in at camp. Full animal panic. Sean began to scream at about the same time the searchers returned empty-handed. They had managed to find a shoe on the edge of a precipice, but no body at the bottom, and no other signs of him. I couldn't help but feel that I alone understood how dangerous the desert was at night for my missing friend. In starlight, the ground looks like safe, hiding pits, cliff, rocks, poisonous things, and hunger-maddened predators, two-legged and four. Mother Wolf syndrome jumped in with the growing fear. Full animal concern. Sean had begun to throw things, beer cans and a shovel. I stood at the edge of the camp in the dark with my friend Rosanna. With every terrified howl, all the worries about my lost friend seemed to warp into these inevitable realities. Run! I know I can find him, at least his body, and then I can keep running and hide from all these terrible things. Enough of the mushroom's poison was still pumping through my veins that I could believe the world would let me get away with this. Rosanna grabbed my hand and very quietly said, "Please, don't. Either this feeling has a very specific, recognizable expression, or she just knew me too well." The whisper, however, cut through the screams inside and out. We walked back into the camp to make as firm decision a bunch of terrified kids can make in a cold desert at the middle of the night. We decided to squelch Sean with the kill switch, a bottle of Jim Beam, reducing his screams to manageable and ignorable whimpers. Then three of us drove into the nearest town to alert the authorities. Cops, rangers, search parties, an incompetent helicopter that kept going in the wrong direction. The fear had taken over, so by this point I knew it was all useless. The rest of the night became nothing but fractured images of drug pulses and anxieties, full of angry men in uniform who seemed disappointed with people in general, and us in particular. I remember sometime in the early AM explaining to the rangers on the edge of tears that I didn't know his parents' phone number, but I knew it spelled out the word Godfuck. With sunrise, the rangers brought him back, naked, cut, bruised, but very much alive. I hugged him and tried not to embarrass him by having a nervous breakdown right there in front of the Jeep. As the cops were evicting us from the desert and informing us that if we returned, it would mean jail time, my roommate gave me a tired smile and said, "Man, you look like hell." And I swear to God, for a while, I had no idea who he was talking about.